Oh, the rabbit holes I have been down this week. This topic about questions that have us making some serious coin led into places that I didn't expect to be researching. The first one is this: why do people actually lie? I've been against this my whole time in the car business. Buyers are not liars. I've heard people say this over and over, and it gets under my skin. Every single person that walks through your front door is different. It's impossible for them all to be liars. But is it impossible for them to lie to us? Of course not. And a good significant amount of them do. I had no idea the numbers were quite this high. And it's not that the individuals are lying to us per se. It's the fact that they're human. We have this tendency to put our guard up as soon as we meet somebody that we don't know. And we can immediately put on that poker face and create this quick cover story about who we are in our life. But usually it's nothing more than trying to get around small talk and cut to the meat and potatoes of the conversation. And with customers, this is an all-the-time occurrence. You have to remember, most consultants really don't dig too far past the whole, what car are you looking for and how much would you like it to be? The interesting part about this is that out of 1,048 people that were researched, 94% of the individuals that bought the vehicle on the first stop at the first dealership had a consultant that showed them things they needed. Think about the gravity of this. That was just the people that bought. Another one that I came across completely blew me away. Now, we know that over the past 10 years, how people do research has dramatically changed. If you were to tell somebody 10 years ago about the emergence of rudimentary AIs or our ability to record ourselves in broadcasts like this, they would think you're insane. Come present day, customers are researching online every moment they can. It wasn't a surprise to me to find that 95% of people start some of their online shopping. What did surprise me, though, is that 61% of these shoppers still pick up the phone and call the dealership. This is because human connection is far more important than we typically give it credit for. Speaking of the human connection part, I've had quite a few people reach out as of late and ask if I do office hours or one-on-one trainings or if I can help them out with their store. The answer is now yes. Down in the show notes, you'll see a link for anyone that needs one-on-one time, anybody that's trying to sharpen their skills in automotive sales, or if you need somebody to gripe to about whatever's going on in your dealership. The link is down there in the chat. It takes you right over to my calendar, and you can pick a day if you want. I'll even build you out a sweet tool based on your needs. So hopefully that'll help you out as well. Now, customers aren't looking for anybody that knows the basics. They already know that. Their research has been done. 95% of people are researching cars online. I guess 5% of people are the hardcore, super owner loyalists. But the customers, since they have all this research done, the product knowledge stuff isn't quite as important as before. And it pains me to say that because product knowledge is critically important. But this is why I've taken it out of my royalty skills that a car sales consultant needs. You need to know your product. That's baseline 101. Just know your product. Do you need to know all the technical aspects of it? Take it from somebody who obsessed over the stuff. You do not. You'll drive more business away than you will attract with too much product knowledge. The royalty skills really come down to your ability to build trust and your ability to have that customer understand that you're a good person, and have that customer know that you're not the stereotypical used car sales consultant or new cars consultant. They want to know that they're actually working with somebody who's going to be decent to them. So discovery at this point, when a customer calls in, they're looking for a human and they're not looking for somebody that can recite every single statistic. But this is what separates the pros from the order takers. If we skip the whole area of asking the right questions, giving the customer pathways and identifying those pathways, we're wasting deals on time. There's really no reason for us to be doing that. Time is tightly tied to positive CSI. Time is also tightly tied to negative CSI. But time is also one of those items that you can't fix. We haven't discovered that one yet. This week, I have built a cue card called the Discovery Pathways cue card. This particular cue card is completely free. Many of you know that I am beta testing all my future tools. and giving them a way for you to check out. In the show notes, you will see a couple more links. One is to the free Discovery Pathways cue card. The other one is to the full-blown beta test. It's open to anybody who wants. All I ask is for a little bit of feedback on the tools every single week if you could, and that's hugely helpful. But the free tool, you can download it right down there. You just sign up for the newsletter. We talk about 3 conversational pathways here. One is contextual, the other one is constraint, and the other one is commitment. And inside the tool, I give you examples of each. We're going to talk about all of those right now. With these sample questions, you can start using them today. If you're a script person, you can say them verbatim if you really want. I never was. I would use the scripts and then modify them and make them my own. Do what you will with them. These sample questions give you the ability to have something at your desk or in your pocket that could help you essentially have a cheat code better conversations, which is something that we all strive to do. Now we're going to start at the context pathway. This is where we start broad and safe when it comes to conversation. This is used for customers that really, you know that they're hiding something. The underlying fact of why they're standing in front of you just hasn't bubbled up yet. They haven't told you anything to really throw you off. They know that they need help. But this particular customer comes looking for an SUV. The real trigger to them buying this thing is they got a new grandbaby coming up. They're super excited about this. They need to make sure they have enough room for car seats, strollers, family trips, things like that. They are rocking grandparents. They are looking to participate. The cue card and the tool here gives you the ability to have 3 clean openers to go along in a situation like this, or you can use them quite frequently. What changed since you started shopping? Walk me through a normal week in your car. Who else rides with you most? Each one of these is very disarming in a way. You're not chasing after a commitment at this point. You're asking the customer something fairly open. The first one here, what changed since you started shopping, basically says, we want to know if you've been to other stores so far. If you reply with, I've looked at this, this, and this, then you obviously are looking for a bit more conversation. Let's sit down and start talking. Also, I know that you've been to a couple other places and you know a bit about these. So tell me more. What are you looking for? This is where you set yourself apart from everybody else. Because keep in mind, the average consultant skips large portions of needs assessment and gets to the paycheck. The next one is walk me through a normal week in your car. We all use it. It's pretty standard out there. But we usually go for, what do you like? What don't you like about your current product? This one is, walk me through how you use your car. What is your operational process? When you get in your car, what's the first thing that you interact with? What's the second? What's the third? This allows them to start to tell a story about who they are and for us to get some details and start to marry those to features of the vehicle that actually apply to who this person is. Then, who else rides with you the most? This puts them hopefully in a positive mindset. If grandma's talking about her daughter and all the great conversations that they've had lately while they've been driving around, then that's something that is positive and it's going to help you build rapport much more quickly. But we don't want to shotgun 20 questions here. We're not interrogators, and we're not the Riddler. We're not somebody that is going to ask one question and then all of a sudden say, oh yes, we're good. Ask these questions, pause, reflect back on them, then move on to another question that digs up more to get the roadmap on how to sell them a car. Now, the constraint pathway is, again, taking down the customer's guard. This is because many people really do believe that we are the worst of the worst. With so many people online complaining about my car dealership pricing and already having these preconceived ideas of what it should be while buying a car, sometimes even after they purchase, they still haven't been given enough value from their car sales consultant to say, hey, you know what, this person was actually really good. Check this out. 76% of customers don't trust dealership pricing. I can't say I'm surprised at that. And when I see the next one is 86% of people suspect hidden fees. Our honesty level has very much been tarnished over the years due to a lot of bad practices. It's also due to a lot of hype because there's a lot of us out there that are very honest in our work. But with all of this hype around us being terrible people, remember, this is your gigantic glowing golden opportunity. You want to walk through that giant golden glowing door. And when you do, you realize that, hey, everybody else with those bad practices, they're working over there. I'm doing my thing. And you can build trust pretty fast once you start to actively separate yourself from everybody else. And the cue card is going to help you also arm yourself with a bit better phrasing. So, for example, any must-haves or deal breakers so I don't have to waste your time. I like that one. And then the next one, how are you thinking about your monthly comfort range? And this negates words like payment from it. It also negates commitment to a specific number. Because the one thing that we all hate is when we see a customer sitting down and they're like, well, 250, 350 a month. And it's like, what? No, we don't do that anymore. How much money are you going to go ahead and throw at it? It's unreasonable. So we need to ask this in a much more broad way. The first question here was any must-haves or deal breakers so I don't waste your time. This is where you're shifting the tone and taking down their guard because nobody wants to have their time burned up. Again, it's the most expensive thing that we have. With this question, you're protecting their time and telling them, hey, I don't want to waste your time and I sure as heck don't want to waste mine. How can we get to just what you're looking to accomplish today? What are those must-haves? What are those deal breakers? And when it comes down to your comfort monthly, do you have any sort of range there? It just comes off very differently than, hey, where do you want your payment? I've always hated that because you start negotiation right in the beginning. If you have a range of where are you now with your vehicle and what do you find comfortable? Obviously, you've been paying on that for a little while. That amount they're paying now should still be within their wheelhouse as long as they haven't made any major changes in their life. We use that as their benchmark, but try to take the word payment out of it, take money out of it, and start off with, hey, what's a comfortable monthly range for you? And finally, the commitment pathway. The commitment pathway calibrates readiness without applying extra pressure. This is where a lot of sales consultants get themselves in trouble on the survey, especially when pressure-oriented questions are being asked. So instead of asking clunky questions like, are you buying today? Try to put a slight bit of different polish on this. Instead, go with something to the effect of, if we find the right fit, are you comfortable moving forward today? Or are you going to need a small hold? You're being respectful. You're being honest. You're actually showing the customer that you're here to provide answers and want to make sure this is something they're comfortable with. When you start to build trust, comfort is a huge piece of it. If the person in front of you is in an anxious state, if they're not comfortable, if they're not with you entirely, they're not ready to make those decisions and commit to this particular car. But once their motivations have been increased, that then changes. And then when that changes, trust has been built and that customer desires that vehicle. So with these pathways of conversation, try to bring that anxiety on. Now, what would this be if we didn't give you some skill to learn right now? This little micro tool is called the Tactical Coach. This is used by hostage negotiators to tap into the bank robbers' desires right off the bat. And this is their ability to just start listening. And you can even see this in movies where the hostage negotiator instantly is that relatable person. They're coming off as somebody that you can confide in. And that's really what they're going for here. So with the Pro Tool, which is the level up from the free, go to the beta test if you want this one free for the next 6 weeks. In that, we level this one up with some persona pathways, and we create a whole workbook out of it. These are 3 pathways that you tailor specifically to real people that you meet. We threw in a family buyer, a commuter, first-time buyer. There's space for you to draft your own context, constraint, and commitment questions for each individual persona. This is for the individuals out there that want to work on leveling up. This really is that level up that I'm trying to provide. You get a free tool, you look at what it is, you get some scripts, you get the workbook. This is now you digging in and looking to improve yourself. So again, the show notes, grab that link to that beta. Now, these personas give you the ability to sit down after you've worked with somebody and go, hey, okay, now it's time for me to reflect. How can I level up my game? What can I do? Here's the story of what happened there. This gets you back to that basic positioning of how do I carry on a good conversation with the customer, and gives you the ability to reset every time. This is you programming in that moment of pause for yourself where you can look back and go, now I can leave that customer behind. So we're not just working on better questions here. We're working on the ability at this level for us to leave that stress move on if something went south, or look back on it, make us happier, and then pass that energy on to the next customer that comes in. Because better performance means that we have to have better questions along the way. And remember, better questions equals better feedback from the customers. So instead of how did I do, maybe ask what's the one thing I could have done better today. That's framing truth, not to get fluff. You're telling somebody, give me feedback. I'm giving you parameters. And really, that's what we got to do with the customer sometimes, and why we designed the Persona Pathways workbook on the pro level to pull that thing off. So go ahead, download that thing. I hope it really does help you. And there are a few pitfalls. One of those is you not subscribing to the podcast. Please click the link if you're on YouTube. If you're on the podcast, just scroll down a little bit. It's just right there. Click that follow button, click subscribe, and then you'll get this every week. But the pitfalls are like this. Most salespeople blow it with customers during needs assessment because we start treating the thing like a police interrogation. And I get it. That's kind of what we're taught is, hey, here's a script. Here's what I need. I need you to get the answers to these 5 things before you come into my office, before I can desk you a deal. Got to get these 5 things. But with these 4 or 5 things I need to get, yes, is the easiest way to do it to go out there and slap it down in front of the customer and go fill this out. I've done that before. I called the 31st of the month when it's 11 p.m. and I want to get the heck out of there. But for some reason, this person just pulled up. But the rest of the time, you need to get it out of them. Ask one question, pause for a moment, and then reflect. Because machine gunning questions just builds anxiety. It makes the brain go faster in a negative way. And that's definitely not what you're looking for here. You don't want the brain to go too slow, and you don't want it to get into an anxious rampage. And that's where interrogating starts feeling like a lot of pressure. So slow down a little bit. Give yourself a little bit of slack. That little bit of slack, that slowing down, is going to mean dividends later when it comes to really needing that bucket of trust filled up when you start showing customers items that might have a bit more profit in them for you than others. Pitfall number 2 is solving their problem too soon can force us to burn that bridge while we're still building it. It's like proposing marriage before we even know each other's last names. You have to give the person the ability to get the whole answer out. Once you have the ability to listen, this then allows you to formulate better questions and get better feedback. And this is where the Elite Manager Packet comes in. For any of you managers, this is on the beta test. Click the link in the show notes. Now, if you're a sales consultant, this is something pretty darn cool to check out. You can be the pro at your dealership and go, I'm going to teach the lesson today as the green pea. And it's built to be turnkey. So your first line, it tells you exactly what to say. And then you go on through and do exactly what it tells you to do. As a longtime trainer, I have set this up to be something that any manager that is not skilled in teaching, any manager that is looking to upgrade in the areas of leadership and have a better team, can pick up the document and straight up just read it. And it will walk you through. Now, on that Elite Manager Packet, there's a rubric in there that gives you the ability to score these particular role plays. You can even award experience points. I am a big-time nerd, hence the name AutoKnerd. I loved those old games of Dungeons and Dragons, World of Warcraft, and all that stuff. And with those, experience points were always awarded. This week, I have added on in a fun game inside of there for the whole week. Last week, we did some, and for the showroom, turn the showroom into a D&D minefield. This week, we are going to do pretty much the same thing, but with a different tone, since I got some good feedback on that. You have the ability to have a system that allows for a week-long sustainment there. So you can continue the activity out of your Saturday morning meeting into the rest of the week, giving proof that things are changing, showing who the leaders are and who really just doesn't care. Because CX is that item that helps us sell more cars and make more money. It really does turn discovery about all of this stuff into a game, and sometimes you can even get the customers in on it, and you can have a whole bunch of fun. And fun is really what sells us. It creates one heck of an awesome emotional environment. Get that free cue card, your daily reminder, grab that pro workbook as your practice journal, and that Elite Managers Packet as your coaching playbook. It'll help your whole team level up their game. So why download that stuff? Why give it a crack? Well, the reason is this, is that our job here at AutoKnerd is to show that we can be respectful people out there Selling vehicles that actually have empathy and care about the person on the other side of the table. This whole thing is there to help make the process feel smoother. When customer experience is awesome, when CX improves, not only is it great for your surveys, but it's great for your pocketbook, because customers that feel that the process was smooth, well, 71% of them said that they'll come back to the dealership after they left. If it's stressful, only 16% would return. Wait, hold up. That means if I was nice to them 71% of the time, they'd come back? Yes, it is. But they never come back. Well, that should tell you something. Because here's the other kicker. 2/3 of the people said that the payment really didn't matter over the experience. Okay. So if we're talking product and money the whole time, you're actually detracting from the framework of the reason why they wanted to come in and buy a car in the first place. You gotta dig down. Those questions have meaning behind them and they have emotion. And when you find that emotion, that's when you can take out the sledgehammer and start building profit, start building excitement, start getting the customer to say, yes, nothing's gonna stop me from buying this thing, because that makes you the difference maker. You set yourself apart from everybody else. And these individuals that have a great time with you, here comes the repeat and referral business. So here's your challenge for this week. I want you to pick one context, one constraint, and one commitment question. Use them with every single up for the next 7 days. Commit those ones to memory. Download the cue card. If you would like, build up your own pro workbook by hopping on the beta and simply downloading the whole Elite packet. By the way, the Elite packet comes with the free, the pro, and the Elite Manager packet. So it's everything in one, just one quick download. If you are that manager, roll it out with your meeting. Make some photocopies, pass them out to everybody, and we all can see how we're progressing through the week. Because the right question at the right time doesn't just sell cars. It sells trust. And trust is the real currency in this business because trust is directly connected to gross profit. So until next time, this is Andrew Sardone with AutoNerd. AutoNerd out.